Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Well, it was a frantic night for a Saanich family that lives on Prospect Lake when last night a small fishing boat packed with teens flipped in the middle of the lake. Thankfully, the people who heard the commotion didn't hesitate. And as Jordan Cunningham shows us, all 5 are alive thanks to some quick actions.
You don't often hear voices on Prospect Lake late at night.
It's usually pretty quiet.
What woke Tate Commander up from a deep sleep just after midnight first seemed like the sound of kids having fun. But that changed in a heartbeat.
It took me a second. I opened up my window and I heard distressed yelling coming from the water.
What he heard was the aftermath of 5 teens packed into a tiny aluminum boat capsizing in the middle of the lake in a night of drinking. Not one was wearing a life jacket. Emma Mickelson lives next door. At first, she couldn't tell what the shouting was about.
They were saying, like, just get him above water, get him above water. One of the younger guys was trying to say.
While Emma dialed 911, Tate was already in full flight. He ran down to the dock without knowing what he'd find.
3 people still in the water. 1 person was already on our dock. 1 guy was unconscious and the other was bringing him to the dock. They were close enough that I could grab the 1 guy's wrist.
Tate grabbed hold of the lifeless body in the water and heaved him onto the dock. To say the right set of hands responded is an understatement. Tate just happens to be the Canadian powerlifting champion. He also knows CPR, but thankfully he didn't have to use it.
He was unresponsive, super shallow breathing. And then he threw up a couple times and then started breathing normally.
Relief then switched to chaos. 1 teen didn't make it to shore.
He was adamant that his friends were still in the water and he was going to stop at nothing to get them back, jumping back in the water even if he couldn't even see them.
Tate stopped the teen from jumping back into the water just as his mom made it down to the dock.
The other teens were hysterical and screaming beside themselves. They were sure their friend was dead.
CHEK viewers know Tess Van Straten from her weather reports. As paramedics and firefighters arrived, she was able to help police piece together the details, and the missing teen's truck was found nearby with wet footprints outside of it. And when Saanich police confirmed to us today that the missing boy was found safe last night,
found the other kid at 1:30 last night.
It was relief all around. If there's one takeaway, it's a visual. The only part of the boat that floated to the surface was this electric motor with a life jacket wrapped around it. Because help won't always arrive this fast.
How proud of Tate are you?
Very proud.
It's a lot to reflect on.
Thinking about how much worse it could have been.
But thankfully, wasn't.
Well, RCMP say criminality is believed to be a factor in an early morning crash that left 1 person dead and 4 injured. The single vehicle crash happened in the 9000 block of South Shore Road in Missachi Lake. A Honda Civic had 5 passengers. 1 died on scene. The 4 others were taken to hospital with serious injuries. The investigation continues. Well, drivers on the Trans-Canada Highway on the south side of Duncan may have come across this tonight. A truck was pulling a trailer full of scaffolding when the load flipped over at the corner of Boys Road and the Trans-Canada Highway. There appeared to be no injuries and the mess wasn't blocking traffic on the highway. No word on what caused the trailer to flip over. Well, a motorcyclist has been arrested in central Saanich after getting stuck between concrete barriers while trying to flee from police. Police got reports of a reckless rider, and when officers arrived, the motorcyclist refused to stop, trying to escape down some concrete barriers. But he rode into problems when the barriers got narrow and the bike got stuck. A 24-year-old is facing charges. Well, the Victoria man accused of brutally killing his neighbor with a hatchet 3 years ago was found guilty of second-degree murder today. Corey Sidaway reports.
The only driving force a psychiatric doctor identified to explain why Michael King attacked his Cook Street Village neighbor with a hatchet to the head in March of 2023 was anger. King was inconsistent in acknowledging that anger, but admitted to forensic psychiatrists that his rage for his neighbor, 70-year-old Michael Jones, had been intensifying in the weeks and days before King killed him. King's anger with Jones seems to revolve mostly around Jones's loud TV, coughing, and his smoking indoors. On March 6, 2023, when Jones was sitting on the bed, King attacked Jones with a hatchet, delivering at least 5 blows to the head. Despite significant medical intervention, Jones died 9 days later. At trial, King's defense pushed for a manslaughter verdict rather than second-degree murder, which made intent a core feature of the case. King's defense argued that his mental state was impaired by his mental health and drugs. King testified the morning of the attack he'd taken over-the-counter sleeping pills, magic mushrooms, and chlorobutanol, a distillation of alcohol that can have a sedative effect that King made at home. They also tried to argue he was in psychosis, having been diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder. But the forensic psychiatrist wasn't able to directly link King's violent actions to psychotic symptoms on the exact day of Jones's murder. The judge also didn't buy the explanation. Instead, she relied on CCTV footage showing King minutes after he'd killed his neighbor, displaying efficiency and focus, not of someone inebriated or experiencing psychotic symptoms. The justice ultimately found that King had murderous intent. After she read her decision, Jones's sister told me nobody deserves that treatment. A date for King's sentencing will be set next month.
Well, an island man who was wanted on a warrant after being sentenced for possession of more than 60,000 images of child pornography is back in police custody tonight. 82-year-old William Tate was sentenced last October to 2 years, less a day in prison, followed by 3 years of probation. But Vic PD says he failed to report to the Vancouver Island Regional Correctional Centre. Vic PD says with the help of American authorities, Tate was located in San Francisco, and Victoria officers escorted Tate on a flight back to Canada. Well, an unresolved double murder case in Nanaimo nearly 70 years ago is going back under the microscope. The victim's great-great-granddaughter is trying to find justice, saying the crime has haunted her family for decades. Here's Sky Ryan.
Visiting this Nanaimo cemetery is as close as Shauna Cowenberg will ever get to meeting her great-great-grandparents.
This is their resting place, Curly and Lizzie.
Whose unsolved double murder south of Nanaimo nearly 70 years ago has haunted their living family for generations.
They were murdered in their home. Horrible.
It's almost like there's an open wound.
Yeah, definitely. It was just kind of one of those things that you didn't talk about. It didn't seem like anyone in our family was ever pressing for answers.
They lived here in peaceful South Wellington, not far from where this 42-year-old Nanaimo mom and office worker lives now. And she wants to solve what happened to Andrew and Elizabeth Kostyuk, known as Curly and Lizzie, on the night of June 26, 1959.
They killed Elizabeth first, and then it was like 6 or 7 hours later, they waited, and then they murdered Andrew.
Curly, seen here on the right, worked in the mines, and she raised their children in their South Wellington Road home and loved to go to bingo.
You know, people didn't lock their doors back then. It was safe.
Newspaper clippings show the Kostyuk's murders dominated RCMP attention for months, yet no one was ever charged. And as the years went by, it slowly drifted from the pages.
It looks like the last time anyone looked into the case was like 87.
Until now. Port Alberni podcaster and investigative reporter Laura Palmer is focusing her new season of Island Crime on this cold case, and episode 1 launches Friday.
There had been no murders like this in living memory. Residents tell reporters that fear settled over the community almost immediately.
Now versus back then, I think there's a good possibility of finding some answers, even if there's not, justice and
which Cowenberg says is motivating her to keep digging into a crime that shaped her family's history and help Curly and Lizzie finally rest in peace.
A decision from the Supreme Court of Canada not to hear a New Brunswick First Nations appeal will have ripple effects across to BC in the Cowichan land claims case. The High Court upheld the ruling in New Brunswick, where a lower court said Aboriginal title cannot be declared over private land, the opposite of what a BC Supreme Court judge ruled in the Cowichan Tribes case last year. The Federal Crown Indigenous Relations Department says the High Court ruling will impact arguments in other cases, including Cowichan, noting that it means private property rights are fundamental. The federal and BC governments, the City of Richmond, and other parties are appealing the Cowichan Tribes' decision that ruled the First Nation holds Aboriginal title over a parcel of land on the Fraser River, including Crown, city, and private property. Well, the spring session of the BC legislature ended today with the passage of the Comox First Nation Treaty. Those talks began in 1994, but neighboring First Nations say their overlapping territory is being claimed and were threatening civil disobedience. The NDP government passed it through this afternoon with the help of 4 Conservatives, including local MLA Brennan Day.
I cannot live without BC. BC saved my life, and it's not just a repeated phrase.
I thought I had to spend my whole life alone. I thought I would never have people who could care about me so much.
Members of the Victoria Cannabis Buyers Club sharing their stories of recovery and survival outside the Solicitor General's office in Victoria today. They're urging the province to hit pause on a civil forfeiture notice given to the landlord of the club's storefront on Quadra Street 2 weeks ago. The landlord has since issued the Cannabis Club an eviction notice. The club's founder saying the landlord was left with no choice, either evict the club, the longest running of its kind in Canada, or risk losing the entire building.
Even though we expected the eviction notice, it actually hit me pretty hard emotionally. There's so many lives at stake here that to think that we may end up homeless is a very scary situation.
The club is seeking a judicial review, but is also appealing to the City of Victoria to help it find a new home. No eviction date has been set. Well, Cedar Hill Golf Course in Saanich is closed indefinitely after chaos broke out last night. A stolen truck drove onto the course, then was set on fire, with 2 police cruisers getting struck as well. Here's Chattis Leo.
That was close.
Today was the perfect day to be on the links. The only problem? The Cedar Hill Golf Course is closed after a truck was stolen and then later set on fire in the middle of the green.
We were looking forward to another good round, but something happened.
We were going to golf, and then the parking lot was empty, which was kind of a sign of there's something going on.
The Saanich Police Patrol and the Integrated Canine Service responded to a report of a stolen vehicle. That vehicle was later found in the area of the Cedar Hill Golf Course and eventually on the Cedar Hill Golf Course and on fire.
By 10:30 this morning, the burnt truck was taken off the course, leaving behind glass and ashes and severe damage on the green. Police say the truck was stolen from the 600 block of Jolly Place in Victoria around 9 Wednesday night. Shortly after, officers spotted the vehicle at the Cedar Hill Recreation Center and tried to stop it. The driver then sped off right onto the course, hitting 2 police vehicles in the process. No injuries were reported. At that point, police decided not to pursue, instead choosing to contain the area.
Which ended up being the correct decision, calling in the Integrated Canine Service and then locating the accused hiding adjacent to the vehicle in the bushes.
Police believe the suspect set the truck on fire before hiding. 35-year-old Bronston Barry is now facing 5 charges.
The accused is in custody in the Victoria Courthouse, awaiting to see a judge, facing numerous criminal charges, including theft of vehicle, arson, mischief, and flight from police.
In a statement, the District of Saanich says staff are still assessing the damage and couldn't say when the course could reopen or how much the damage might cost to repair. With the burnt truck gone, all that remains is a black stain, broken glass, and golfers wondering what to do instead.
So I don't know where we'll go. The pubs aren't open yet, so I don't know what we'll do.
Golfers can log on to the District of Saanich website for updates about when the course will reopen. None of the charges against Barry have been proven in court.
I think when we think about treatment is the kind of the final endpoint, and when you're done treatment, that's it. I don't believe that. I believe that we need things like reunification, we need things like second stage housing, and to have that next step for people after treatment.
Well, just 1 year after opening the island's first long-term addiction recovery program for women, Our Place is adding another step to the program. The organization is getting ready to open a reunification house, a program to support graduates as they reunite with their children and reintegrate into the community. There will be 4 apartments within the house expected to be open in the next 2 months.
I'm Ed Bain. Your full island forecast is on the way. But first, here's a look at weather around the world. 19 in a mix for Oslo, Norway today. Over in Alberta, Banff was showery and 20. And 17 in clouds for Auckland, New Zealand.
Weather Around the World is brought to you by ComSense Cabinets. Designed for your space, built for your life.
We live here, we work here.
And we care about getting your move right.
You Move Me provides big-hearted service.
With friendly, uniformed professional movers.
A stress-free move is within your reach.
Book your best move ever at youmoveme.com.
I almost didn't come in. I wasn't in distress or anything, just felt like something was off. There were so many patients in the ER that looked worse than me, but they ran all the tests anyway. One of the nurses noticed something. Turned out to be the start of a heart attack.
Clear. We got a pulse.
I didn't realize it was an emergency. Thankfully, the nurse is dead.
You don't need a truck that talks. You need one that shows up. Work days, game days, and these days. Because the minutes, the hours, and the days add up. And Ram is up for them all. Ranked the most dependable full-size truck by J.D. Power and backed by an unsurpassed 10-year or 160,000-kilometer warranty. Get 0% financing for 72 months on both the 2026 Ram 1500 and Ram 2500 at the Ram Make Your Move event.
At California Closets, every project is personalized, custom designed, and installed by true craftsmen. That's the California Closets difference. We call it practical magic. Get started with a free design consultation.
Charlie's having a friend over.
Aww.
Yo, we brought chips. Just a few more kids.
Enjoy.
You know we can see you, right?
Teens might not care if you protect your home, but we do. Claims-free homeowners save more. Just one of many ways TD Insurance helps you save. It's how we're making insurance more human.
Well, Penticton has declared a local state of emergency after a massive fire at the site of a long-term care home triggered the evacuation of multiple properties. The city says the fire was first reported late last night at the construction site of the 3-story wood frame structure and quickly escalated. The city activated its emergency operations center today and is issuing an updated evacuation order for 10 properties around the site of the fire. It says the presence of an unstable crane used in the construction process continues to pose a safety risk.
From provinces and territories to the federal government, we are working together to protect Canadians.
And Ottawa providing an update today on the wildfire outlook this summer, with federal officials telling people in BC to brace for another challenging season. It's not expected to be record-breaking, but with hot, dry conditions already, things are expected to ramp up in June. The feds have at least 10 new firefighting air tankers and heavy lift choppers that can be called on by provinces and territories as needed. Well, the Vancouver Island MP is calling on Ottawa to give BC ferries more money. Courtney Alberni MP Gord John says it's not fair that ferry passengers in Eastern Canada are subsidized so much more than in BC. Here's Kendall Hansen.
It's been almost 2 months since BC Ferries increased its prices by 3.2%. It now costs $110 one way for a vehicle and driver between Vancouver Island and the mainland.
That's one of the main reasons I don't come over anymore, is the cost of the ferries.
So expensive.
Yep, way too expensive.
Contrast that to the 75-minute ferry between Prince Edward Island and Nova Scotia. A vehicle and driver there costs $48 round trip.
when you look at per passenger subsidy, on the East Coast, they're getting about $291 per passenger. In BC, it's about $1.63 in terms of federal subsidies.
Yesterday, Johns argued for ferry parity in Parliament.
The issue is that Vancouver Islanders are asking why essential marine highways on the West Coast aren't treated with the same level of federal importance. The federal government keeps pointing to constitutional agreements signed more than 80 years ago and funding formulas created nearly 50 years ago when Vancouver Island had about 450,000 residents.
Perhaps not surprisingly, this is an issue on Vancouver Island that crosses party lines.
Yeah, look, I think Gord made some good points. It's completely unfair that we aren't getting the same level of funding from the federal government for the exact same service that is being delivered out east.
Bottom line, agree with Gord, we're getting a raw deal. So I would structure it around how has the world changed between 1867 and 2026. Number one, BC negotiated on the basis of railways. Where's the Island Railway?
The two Liberal MPs on Vancouver Island were unavailable for on-camera interviews today. In a statement, Victoria MP Will Greaves says he agrees that the island was overlooked for too long, saying he shares the same frustrations as Johns. Greaves says the disparity in federal support compared to the East is real and long-standing, and is an issue he's raised himself. He does say he's proud that the Canada Infrastructure Bank is loaning $1 billion in low-interest financing to replace BC Ferry's oldest vessels. Whether the debate sparked by the Courtney Alberni MP will lead to any change on just how much we pay to ride BC ferries, yet to be seen.
I'm Ed Bain. Here is your extended forecast as we get a little more cloud cover and some cooler air into play for the next couple of days here. 14-degree highs at best tomorrow and Saturday for the North Island. Maybe a morning shower on Saturday. Back into sun, mind you, for Sunday, and then warmer air coming in for Monday and Tuesday again. It's a mix with highs of 20 and 21, 18 in cloud cover for Wednesday. Let's take a look at the Central Island. Similar pattern here. The shower chance for tomorrow morning sits at around 30%. Should see some breaks of sunshine, mind you, for the afternoon. 18 will be the top out, and that will be seasonal for this time of the year. A little above that on Saturday in full sunshine. Then a mix coming in with low 20s, mid 20s ahead for Monday. Tuesday and Wednesday will be around 24 to 21. And again, a mix of sun and cloud both those 2 days. On to the South Island. We could get a morning shower tomorrow. That chance at around 40% for us. A few sunny breaks in the afternoon. 17, so we're below seasonal Friday and again on Saturday. Mixes of sun and cloud for the end of the weekend and the start of next week, but a nice climb again to 24 by Tuesday, 21 in cloud for Wednesday.
The Canadian dollar was up to 72.42 US. The TSX gained about 106 points. The Dow added almost 25. The Nasdaq in the green about 243. Gold increased 50.90 an ounce, and oil rose 22 cents to 88.90 a barrel.
At Jenner, it's our promise to give your family the best deal from the best people on a new Chevrolet Bolt or Equinox EV. Our 45th anniversary continues to go green at Jenner Chevrolet Buick GMC, still on the old on-highway.
What makes a community thrive? What lifts us up to nurture a greater good? The Victoria Foundation has been making such an impact for 90 years. Together with our donors and partners, we uplift the community by distributing grants to a wide range of charitable organizations. And we invest in sustainable social enterprises. It's about making a lasting impact for the well-being of many. Find out how you can help uplift your community too at victoriafoundation.bc.ca.
Today's Dodgecast is going to be hot, really hot, with a 100% chance of sizzling summer savings.
Dodge delivers.
Your local Vancouver Island furniture store with the very best in quality, selection, and customer experience. It's worth the drive to Dodds.
Are you ready to take control of your finances, eliminate money stress, and achieve your financial goals? Introducing FinFit 90, a 12-week financial boot camp designed to transform your financial life. In just 90 days, you'll learn how to increase cash flow, pay off debt, build wealth, invest wisely, achieve lofty goals, and provide security for your family. There's no shortage of financial information out there. Just ask Google or AI. But how do you know what's credible? How do you know what's relevant to you? Are you even asking the right questions? And most importantly, are you taking action? The Wealthy Life created FinFit 90 to solve these challenges by providing reliable, expert-backed content and converting knowledge into action so you get real results. Join FinFit 90 today and start your journey to financial freedom.
Centrum, a complete multivitamin to support a healthy foundation for every body. Centrum supports your immune system and your, energy metabolism too. Plus, try new Centrum Adults 50 Plus, clinically shown to support memory and cognitive health.
Tim's Omelet Bites, real cheese, eggs, and sausage. Delicious. High in protein. And 2 for only $3.99? We call that a win-win-win. Try Tim's new sausage and 4 cheese flavor today. Mix and match 2 for $3.99.
Well, shocking news in hockey today. Claude Lemieux, who just 3 days ago was the Montreal Canadiens' torchbearer prior to Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Final, has died. Authorities in Florida's Palm Beach County say Lemieux took his own life. Lemieux was a 4-time Stanley Cup champion and is remembered as a hard-nosed competitor who rose to the challenge in big games. He was a rookie with the Montreal Canadiens when they won the Cup in 1986. Lemieux earned the Conn Smythe Trophy in 1995, helping the New Jersey Devils to their first Cup win. Claude Lemieux was 60 years old.
Drops that back. Here's Celebrity with time. Celebrity walks in and shoots, scores!
Well, Canada facing the U.S. in the quarterfinals at the World Hockey Championships in Switzerland today. Macklin Celebrini opens the scoring in the first. He's got 6 goals in the tournament. In the second, Dylan Holloway on his own rebound gets his 4th goal, and Canada's up 2-0. And Canada would add 2 empty netters, including one from Sidney Crosby. Jet Greaves with a 34-save shutout. Canada wins 4-0. They move on to face Finland in the semifinal on Saturday.
The season's about to open. Let's go, Nathan Rourke.
Well, Super Bowl winning head coach John Gruden is now a member of Barstool Sports, and today he unpacked a pretty impressive care package from the BC Lions, and Gruden rattled off some of his favorite players, both past and present, on the Leos, and he says he's never been to Vancouver but plans to come up for a big game, but is a big fan of the CFL. And the BC Lions play their final preseason game tomorrow night at Winnipeg against the Bombers. That's the show tonight. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great night.